You are listening to the USDN on the DFPN.
It's a trap!
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. And tonight, the council has assembled where speed is power, vengeance is justice, and tonight they will both collide. From the electric chaos of Quickwire to the brutal shadows of Phantom Hawk, one writer commands them all. This is Matthew Jasso.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? That's a hell of an intro, brother.
And my job is done. Let's wrap it up.
That was awesome. Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Welcome back to the show. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You said first of all.
So welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
And so this almost didn't happen. It was a late night rescue party you sent out to me. It's like,
Yes.
Hey, did I mention and confirm that this was tomorrow? No, you didn't, but I can make this happen.
Yeah, I think it was. So there was two people I was talking to at around the same time, and I thought I said, "Hey, this night's probably the best night for me." And then I talked to my wife, and then I was like, "I better, make sure." And then when I looked at the messages, I was like, "Oh, I didn't say anything to him. I better make sure he's cool."
So
I must have thought that
I was
and not communicating
quasi tracking. I was like, okay, well, I guess it's not going to be tomorrow. So I'll hit him up tomorrow, and be like, hey, what are we doing? I know you said you wanted to do it the second week, but I'm glad we got it worked out. I'm glad you're here, dude. Quickwire is on the website and it is live.
Yes,
in both digital and print.
Correct.
Which is awesome. So let's talk about him a little bit. His name is Tyler Bao.
Tyler Bao. He is Vietnamese.
And he's a reckless, hilarious, and unexpectedly heroic. How did his personality come together? Because to be fair, it's almost like Harshstroke drew himself Vietnamese and just threw himself in a comic book.
Yes, so the way it really came about was, and I think I may have said this before, is like, I'm so tired of like superheroes that are burdened or on a revenge track or brooding. So I really wanted to do a hero that was like glad to be a hero. Like becoming a superhero was the coolest thing he could ever be. And then also making him like, I want to be this thing. So instead of having like, now I have superpowers, what am I going to do? The burden of responsibility. He's like, dude, I'm a speedster now. Let me go test the tropes. And then, hey, there's a problem. I'm going to go save people. And that, even though, I know you've read parts of the first issue, but like that continues throughout the series, is like, when he should just be testing things out, if something happens, he runs to it and tries to help people. And I really kind of wanted to get back to a hero that is not only glad to be a hero, but is actually heroic. I think over the last several years, we've kind of gotten to like the dark and gritty, or the allegory of all these heroes, but the mean and downtrodden, or like, the evil, the Superman allegory of the guy who's evil and more human, I'm just done with. I don't want to see that
Yeah.
anymore. So that's why with him, with Quickwire, I really wanted to kind of get to this guy who was young and, you know, just going through college. He gets these superpowers, and then it's like, okay, cool. Now I get to be a superhero, and this is
The
awesome.
dude's just happy to be here.
Yeah,
I like it, dude, and I enjoyed what I've got to read. I've got a note written to myself to actually order the damn book because I do want it. I want it in my hand. And so let's talk about how he becomes a superhero with some experimental earbuds.
yes,
Which is an origin which is wildly unique. But where did that come from? Because that's like random as hell. Like, hey, let's give him some earbuds and make it happen.
So, without giving up too much information about certain things that will be revealed further down the line for Apogee Comics, in that universe, there is this unique metal that exists in this world. It is what Bengali's mask is made out of.
Okay.
It is part of, that's another character in Apogee. This metal exists in this world. And pardon me, the earbuds are made of pieces of that metal. And because it's experimental and they don't really understand how this metal works, through his own not listening to his brother, he accidentally creates a static charge. It goes through his body, or he goes to take the earbud out because his brother's like, hey, listen to it here, but don't leave because those have to stay here. And he walks upstairs, thus creating an electric charge. So when he touches them, it's like a static electric charge and it just goes nuts. And eventually, as there's other stories come about, we'll find out where this metal comes from and why it has these weird properties.
So let's go back just a second and remind people that within Apogee there are a multitude of superheroes.
Yes.
Like Nick walked us through it when the whole team was on last time, but they're all interconnected and will be interconnected if they're not already. So
Correct.
There are plans now and in the future for all these characters to eventually have interworked with each other or fought each other and then work together. So that is a huge, big plan that Apogee Comics has. And it's something really excited to look forward to if you're a fan of Apogee Comics and their characters like Bengali and Phantom Hawk.
Yeah. So there's planned titles. And I say planned because like ultimately we're not all super rich and can just throw money out and make these comics. It's we're trying to get to this point of like a sales-based thing. But yes, the plan is like we have Quickwire that has now had the issue number 1. It's a brand new series. Phantom Hawk has been rebooted. That's a newer series. Bengali's been going on for a while, but there's about 4 or 5 other series that we would like to do financially if it's available. And then there is a plan that all of these characters and this universe will have a crossover, and that crossover will then reveal where this metal comes from, why it's here. And so there's plans, like again, but at the same time, to read Quickwire number 1, you don't need to know any of that. Yeah. All you need to know is that these are experimental earbuds. He creates a static shock. Boom, he's got superpowers. And then we just see him go through what he's going through. So there isn't a reason or a need now for you to read everything. I mean, we want you to read everything, but
no, of course
you're not lost. It's not
it's a good idea to read everything if you can, at least in digital format. Because right now, your digital format's 99 cents, which is a still of a price, So if you are interested in that 99-cent digital format, and is it available right away?
Yes, it's an instantaneous download, from my understanding. Perfect. So it's not like we email it to you. I think it's an instantaneous download.
That's freaking amazing, because most of them, if you get the digital download, you have to wait for them to send it to you and the digital code to go with it to open it.
Yeah. Now, my understanding is it should be instantaneous. So
that's outstanding.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's like I said, these titles are specifically designed to be standalone. And if
Mhm.
a character crosses over, they're just in that series. So like Phantom Hawk is going to be appearing in the next 2 issues of Bengali, but you don't have to read Phantom Hawk to know what's going on. And you don't have to read Bengali to know what's happening in Phantom Hawk. That it's just, he's there doing something. So trying to make sure that, again, we want you to read everything, but we don't want it to be essential. If you like Bengali and dark supernatural stuff and you don't like vigilante kind of things, just read Bengali. It's okay. You're not missing anything at all.
And you're not hurting anybody's feelings. It's personal preference. Just like I always say, there's a comic book out there with somebody's name on it for everybody.
Yeah. And that's something I think we've been trying to push, or at least I have, is like, some of these ideas are like, Nick is the guy who created pretty much everything, but he also created a majority of this stuff when he was a teenager. So some of the stuff is like, okay, yeah, that was a really good idea, but we need to kind of update it, or hey,
remold it and restructure it to fit today.
Well, and sometimes too, and this happens across the board. It's not just him. I do this as well. It's like sometimes you share something with somebody and then they go, you know what? This might be fun. Or, hey, have you considered this? Or now that you're telling me all these things, I realize all 4 of these things are your exact same thing. Maybe change something. And that's where I think we're coming to now, is just trying to, like, okay, is all this the same or is it different? Because ideally, each title is its own genre. So like Phantom Hawk is that dark vigilante justice. Quickwire is kind of a comedy superhero thing.
Yep.
Bengali is a supernatural thing. There's another thing that's more of a police procedural kind of thing. And then there's another title that we're going to try and make it more of like a cyberpunk, tech thing. Yeah. And that just gives everybody, like, you have a completely different world. And then it makes it more interesting when these guys are all talking or having to eventually cross over, because everybody's bringing something new.
Speaking of comedy and superhero action, those things are kind of tough to balance from any standpoint, really. What has been your biggest challenge in keeping Quickwire funny and emotional, and still kind of like not making it too cheesy or too corny, but keeping it just that nice spread even of action, comedy, wit,
Like, it sounds weird to say it this way. It's supporting characters. Like, you want your hero to care and do things, but supporting characters help with that. Like having his brother be his tech guy in the chair really creates an interesting dynamic later on in the other issues, where this brother's like, don't go there, get out of there, there's no reason for you to be there, and he's like, no, I have to do this, I'm a hero. And he's like, no, don't take a picture with them, So I think sometimes that helps, but then it's also for me just giving these characters more to do than just be to be the straight man for Quickwire. Issue 3 really explores like why one of the villains is doing what they're doing, to the point where you're like, as much as she did something really stupid and messed up, like this is what happens. The corporate world is like, hey, you need to do this thing because we need these results. And if that means giving up your humanity so we can get a profit, that's what you have to do. Yeah. So that kind of bringing that kind of characterization to some of these people and I'm not saying like, look, there's some villains also in this thing that are just bad. Like the villain that shows up in issue.
Oh, you have to have like the uber bad guy.
Yeah. He's just evil. Like there's no 2 ways about it. So I think that's what really helps, is just giving those pause moments, but also just finding the human element. There's one scene that I put in the comic that's actually something that happened to me. So I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've done acting before in super small projects. If you Google my name, you're going to find some movie trailers. But I did this.
It's not a movie from Thailand, is it?
So anyway, we did this one thing called Two Cobras in a Cup, and I played Cobra Commander. And at one point, one of the actors who played Scarlet, she's a friend of mine, and she's like, hey, let's take a picture. And we took a selfie. Well, I'm Cobra Commander, so I'm wearing the mask.
The mask.
But I'm not thinking about it, so I smiled. So then she shows me the picture, and I started laughing. She's like, what? I was like, I'm smiling underneath that mask. You can't see it, but trust me, I am. So when I had Quickwire in the first issue, he doesn't have his costume for the rest of the issue because it's his origin. So he's wearing a motorcycle helmet, and he takes a selfie with somebody. And I went, this is that moment. And I had him say, awesome, hey, dude. I'm smiling under this thing. And then to further that, I went, you know what? That's the perfect reason why his mask makes all the faces, is that he's wearing this helmet. And he makes, so I put it in that he tells his brother, hey, make me a helmet, but make sure I can do a digital expressions so people know what I'm thinking. And I was like, it's so stupid and silly, but it's also like it came from this weird moment of just me personally being dumb enough to smile under the reflective faceplate of a Cobra Commander helmet. So I think it's like that kind of stuff that when you bring it in, it just kind of is like, yeah, no, it makes sense. He would smile and then not realize like, oh yeah, my face is covered.
So what was it like working with Harsh? I mean, we know we had Harsh set up our interview last time to talk to the whole team here, but how was that working with him and Michael Woods to shape kind of like the final tone of what Quickwire is becoming and has become?
It's actually really a challenge in general, and not just with him. Is like, unlike the Marvel bullpen or some of these bigger companies, like we're not in the same cities. We're not even the same states. Heck, Harshstroke is from Mexico. So there was sometimes like you can't, like, he's in similar time zone, but he's also a young kid who doesn't have a family. So there'd be times he's trying to message me in the middle of the night, and it's like, bro, I'm asleep. I'll get to you in the morning. Or, you know, like he would do a lot of work on the weekends, and I'm busy on the weekends. I'm more free during the week. So that was probably the most challenging part. But then there's also sometimes our culturally things are different. You know, the trying to explain, something like, I think I'd mentioned this last time, is like I put in the script, the weapons, like everybody in the van has weapons. So he drew them with bats and machetes. And I'm like, yes, I know that's weapons, but this is America. This is USA. In USA, when you say weapons, it's a bunch of rifles and pistols. Yeah. So that was kind of some of that stuff where culturally, it's different. So having to now, after we finished the first issue, we've had discussions about, okay, what was right, what was wrong, what could be improved. And part of that is like, all right, let me go back through the script for the second issue and make sure there are things that are a little bit more specific than they were before. Yeah. Or, hey, here's a picture or a drawing or something that give you more of a reference. And that was kind of the big change between 1 and 2, is like now I'm having to kind of get a little more detail on that just to make sure he understands.
I mean, it's a lesson learned, right? And I think with anything we do, whether it be in art or writing or whatever, even with podcasting, I learn something new every single time I go to make shorts, or every time I go to do something differently. I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly evolving, and I'm constantly, like, after every show when I'm sitting here talking to my guest after the fact, I'm like, hey, what can I do different? What did you like? What didn't you like? Where can I improve? And I think if you're not asking those questions, you're not really trying to grow, and you're going to find yourself stuck or fading away.
Yes. There was a girl, because we all went to that con after we were on your show.
Yeah. Tell us about that. How was that? Did you dress up?
No.
Come on, man. You said you were going to put the suit on.
That suit was supposed to be done. It didn't get done. I almost brought some of my own suits.
Didn't get done, huh?
Oh man, trust me. So our subject. But anyway, no, there was a girl that was there, and she was going around and interviewing all the creators because she wanted to get into the business. And while we were talking,
a perfect start to it. That's how you do it, man.
It was perfect. She was a little awkward, but I was like, it makes sense. But it was funny because as I was talking to her, I said something, and I think it applies to kind of what you were saying is a critique is not an arguing point. It's
No.
a challenge.
It's a challenge and a growth.
It's a challenge. If I tell you, hey, these are the things you need to work on, we don't need to argue about it. You know, it's like, okay, let me take this note. And now there's a difference between, hey, so next time maybe, you know, make sure that this is the shot. And it's not a, bro, you suck at this. That helps nobody.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
That's
I can tell you, like, my first few shows were awkward as hell when I was learning and like really starting to like interview people by myself solo. And not only am I interviewing somebody for the very first time, he's not even from this place. He's not from America.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he lives in the UK by way of Portugal.
Oh gosh.
So it was like I was like, hey, dude, if you don't mind, I'm extremely nervous. He's like, dude, me too. I'm like, hey, let's get on a little bit before we start. That way we can start talking to each other and kind of get rid of this awkwardness before we go live.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell everybody now, like, hey, I'm going to be on at this time to check my sound and everything. If you want to hop on too. That way we can have a casual conversation. We can make sure all our stuff is working. And that way when we do go to the live,
yeah,
we're two bros talking at that point.
Yeah. Where is this live? Is it live on Facebook or is it live on
Facebook, Twitch, and
okay,
YouTube?
I'm just gonna say, come hang out.
Yeah, man, invite them all, dude.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I always try and get people to come, and like so there was one time I did one, and it was funny because we had a guest on, and all my buddies showed up, and I kept trying to message like, this is Scott Beatty. He is a comic book professional. Please don't ask stupid questions.
Dude, those always end up being the freaking best though, dude.
Yeah, it was funny. It was
the
funny
thing is I pre-gamed, you know. I was like, hey, I have this one little cool thing I want to drop in the chat before I start, and you know, when we get started, and I never did it, so I'll do it now.
No, but yeah, I've done a couple podcasts. There was one I did, and we did like 3 different iterations of it, and it just didn't work. Like sometimes it doesn't work. You think you have this brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, like I get to that point where like I have no problem going like, nah, this isn't working. We're done. And there was one we did, and it was like the app we were using. I can't remember what it was called, but you could only use it through your phone.
Ooh, that would be.
And then like what's worse is it had no video, but then it would glitch, so you couldn't talk over each other.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where I was like, we have to find a different way to do this. This is they sounded bad. You couldn't use nice audio equipment. It was terrible. And man, I wish I could remember what that thing was called. I don't even think
that just sounds horrible. Hopefully it doesn't exist no more.
No, I think I got bought out by Spotify. I can't remember what it was, but it had like editing tools, so you could edit and you could do commercials, and it was a good beginning thing. But we got to the point where we would just record it through. I want to say we started using Skype.
Yeah, a lot of people still use Skype, and but you can only do 45 minutes at a time, something like that.
Unless you pay for it, you can only do 45 minutes at a time. And then there was something else that Skype did that was weird. I can't remember what it was because we stopped using.
I know podcasts that do. They'll use that 45-minute mark to do their. They'll do the first 45 minutes, and then they go back through, and when they re-edit everything, they'll insert a commercial there or a plug. And then they'll go with the next 45 minutes, which is kind of cool. But dude, that's a lot of editing work to get anything done, really. You know,
I think what happened with Skype, why we stopped using it, was it didn't separate the audio. Zoom separates the audio.
Yeah.
So it was like really weird of like, oh crap, like there's no adjusting anything. But all that to say, like, yeah, we had a couple learning curves, and then it just got to the point. It was like, nah, we're done. So
Yeah, I like
It happens.
StreamYard, which is what we use, and it's great, dude. It allows us to do everything. I can edit in here, I can
Yeah.
clip in here, I can separate audio and video. I can do all that from within the website, and it is great.
Yeah.
So
My the podcast I do, the We Are DC Junction, is the guy who my co-host, he does everything through StreamYard. So I've edited a few things here and there. He mainly
yeah.
takes care of that. But yeah, I'm like, man, this is
Speaking
nice.
of DC, dude, what do you think about Vertigo being back for real this time?
Sure. Vertigo was never my thing. Like, I know a lot of people that
Yeah.
love that stuff. I think the only thing out of Vertigo that I really liked was Preacher.
So Preacher, Swamp Thing, and
Swamp Thing,
Hellblazer were like my
Hellblazer,
three.
yeah.
But then
Sandman's another one.
yes, Sandman. But here's what's crazy though. So they were like, hey, I can't remember who it was, the lady who was running DC for a little bit. She's the one that got rid of Vertigo.
Yeah.
Then Jim Lee came in. He's like, okay, since there's no more Vertigo, I'm just going to make a Black Label.
Yes.
And Black Label essentially became Vertigo, which produced some really, really good titles.
Yeah.
The Nice House by the Sea, for instance. And then Jim Lee's like, I run the place. What am I doing? Vertigo's back, baby.
Yeah. No,
they announced their first lineup. It doesn't seem bad. Like there's some older Vertigo stuff coming back today.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, to me, Vertigo will always be the three biggies, with Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, and Preacher, and
Sandman.
Yeah, that to me will be my essential Vertigo titles.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll give them a try,
Yeah. No, I don't think. My thing is like comics should be available for everybody, and whatever kind of comic you want should be out there. And Vertigo, again, not the stuff I read, I enjoyed. It wasn't that it was bad; it just wasn't my thing. So I think bringing Vertigo back is, I mean, as long as the sales support it,
dude, the audience is still there for it. So
yeah.
I mean, why not? I will always appreciate them going, hey, we know you guys missed this, so we're going to give it back to you.
Yeah.
As long as it's still the same, like they're not going to PG-13 it,
Yeah.
They're going to give us Vertigo, give us the hard, hard stuff, the rated R, the oops, she took off her dress. I guess you see some boobs today.
Do what you can't do in the DC universe in Vertigo. That is what it was there for.
Exactly. And that's why it went away. That's why Black Label took over. And that's why Vertigo is back, because the audience will never go away. So,
yeah.
But speaking of not going away, Phantom Hawk is not going away. As a matter of fact, he has now been rebooted. We have Phantom Hawk Resolute.
Yes.
And so it was a little bit of this is a tone shift from what Quickwire is. Quickwire is the funny, witty, happy to be here superhero. Phantom Hawk is, you looked at me wrong, you jaywalked. Now you must, I must introduce my foot to your ass.
Yes.
Vigilante style.
Yes. Yes. He is a former military guy who's gone through this Phantom Project thing that has given him these nanites that allows him, the standard super soldier serum kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they realize that the program's not working. He and his buddies take off. And then after about a year of being gone, they realize like, oh, these nanites are actually now starting to kill us. It's like they have cancer. So he's trying to not only find a cure to this situation, but also like not let this corporation that just let them be get away with what they're doing. So it's definitely like a more of a, I don't want to say soldier of fortune. He's not really a mercenary, but it's a guy who is trying to help himself find this cure, and whoever gets in the way is going to get their butt whooped. And depending on your intent, he may, I don't say straight up murder you. He's not this assassin just killing everybody who runs into, but he kind of does the Malcolm Reynolds. Well, if somebody tries to kill you, you kill him right back. So it is definitely a darker tone. This is more of that, dare say, it's not quite rated R, but it's definitely up there. It's a high-end PG-13. And he is not, but he's also not Batman. He's not a vigilante that's fighting crime. He is fighting this corporation and going against them. And that's kind of what it is. It's a darker tone, a much more serious tone. He's not cracking jokes. Now there may be things that are kind of funny that happen around him, but he's not you're like cracking a quip or doing anything. Like he's trying to get this thing done. Yeah. Again, like he's
got a mission and he wants to see it to the end.
Correct. So it is a different tone. It's been fun. I enjoy writing both of them.
Yeah.
But this is more of that PG-13 action film of this guy going after the quote unquote bad guys and getting things done the way he needs to.
So would you consider it a soft reboot or like a hard reboot when it comes to Phantom Hawk? Were you trying to preserve what he originally was? Or, did you try to completely like redefine what the original Phantom Hawk was?
It's kind of a mix. Like I would almost say it is a reboot, but it's not a hard reboot. So Nick had actually written and drawn or worked with other people and did about 7 issues of the series. I read those, and then back in 2018-ish, he had started the series again with a different writer. And that is not my tea to spill, so I won't get into that situation.
No, I think he touched on it briefly.
Yes,
with our other interview that we did in the big interview with the whole team for Quickwire. Yeah, but I don't think he mentioned something, but he didn't go into too much detail on it. So if anybody's curious about that, you can go watch my original interview with Nick, Matt, and Harsh, and you'll get a little bit more details on that. And plus, listen to Nick, get pissy and be fun.
Ultimately, I took everything he had done before, the stuff he had done with the previous writer, the stuff he had done with himself, and just put it all in a blender, and then was like, this is what I want to do. And so, like, if you read the previous number 1, just the Phantom Hawk number 1, you can kind of see the echoes. If you read his stuff from before, there's echoes of that here as well.
Yeah.
So you would almost say when it comes to the first issue of both previous versions, you could totally go like, oh, that's what this is that thing updated. Yeah. After that, it goes completely off the rails and does whatever I've kind of said, not what I wanted, but my thing was it's a 4-issue story arc. So it's going to have a beginning, middle, and end. This encapsulates this chapter of this character. Yeah. So there were things that, like, I read something. I read all the stuff he gave me. I misread something. So Black Shroud was a guy, an actual figure. Yeah. In the original, I made Black Shroud the organization all the bad guys work for, and he was like, "I like that better. Let's just do that." So it was stuff like that I kind of added in. But
it's always cool when a misunderstanding can lead to something better.
Yeah. So ultimately, this Phantom Hawk Resolute is the new beginning of this story.
Okay.
You don't need to read anything else. Nothing that was done before really is connected to this story. This is the reintroduction. Hey, what's up, Ray? What you doing? Ray McKay, he works with me. We've been buds for the last 2-3 years. He's a really good writer. You're going to see that dude coming up quickly. He's got some surprise projects and some projects with Apogee and other things he's done. So he's a cool
what
guy.
makes it a real cool project? When he comes on the USDN and talks about the real cool project.
There you go.
Raymond, hit me up. I know you want to.
Come on, buddy. But so that's where, like, Phantom Hawk Phantom Hawk is definitely that kind of a reboot. So it's kind of like, I would almost, I can't really say, like, when you watch something like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, it's all there. It's all the echoes of the original thing, but it's its own thing.
Yeah.
This Phantom Hawk Resolute you read this, you pick up this comic, you don't have to read anything else. This is what it is, and it redefines who he's going to be going forward in Apogee. Just to kind of give him a little more of the trajectory that we wanted to do, and to bring him up into a more modern version of the story. And it happens because that's the thing. Like, I've had previous characters I've created, and it's like every like 5 or 6 years, I would go like, that was neat then. That doesn't work now. And kind of rebooted him as well. So it was very easy for me to kind of look at all this and go like, I got you. I know where we're going with this. And he really was very nice about saying, go. I like what you're doing.
Go forth and conquer.
Yeah. So because
Baseline Pharmaceuticals is playing a massive role in this story. What makes that corporate villain so much more powerful than, your normal street level, villain?
Sure.
I mean, obviously they have the mega dollars to throw behind a lot of stuff.
So Baseline is the corporation of Apogee. So this is where you get into the weirdness of like, so Baseline Pharmaceuticals is an international conglomerate that owns several different businesses and different divisions. The one that did the project for Phantom Hawk is the one that's pushing forward technology to try and get the ultimate soldiers and the ultimate warriors and create these definitely. We might talk about it here in a little bit, but I like it. Does that. They're the ones that do the Phantom project that Phantom Hawk was part of and he's going after. They also have other organizations in other places. So they have a standard, what I would say is like a consumer R&D facility in Dallas, Texas. And in there's this guy who creates earbuds that do surround sound.
Is it owned by Jerry?
No, but it's owned.
Everything else in Dallas is owned by Jerry.
Yeah, no, almost. But that is where the earbuds that give Quickwire his powers.
Oh,
so his brother works for Baseline Pharmaceuticals, but as Baseline R&D. So this corporation is everywhere.
Baseline's an umbrella corps with multiple organizations underneath it.
Correct. And I don't want to give away certain things, but at the end of the Quickwire thing, they kind of go their separate ways. So, but you do have this corporation that is existing everywhere. So in the Bengali storyline, it's not as prevalent there, but there's a little bit of a connection. In another series that we're working on, Baseline will be there. So it's kind of for lack of a better way, like Rocks and Oil and Marvel. It's that corporation that's the villain all over the place.
Yeah.
So you get, as time goes on and things unfold, you'll start really seeing the villainy that exists in parts of that corporation.
I like it, dude. I like when multiple stories can carry multiple villains of the same thing, but they still feel kind of different as well.
Yes. Yeah. And there are certain tropes that you have to kind of do. You have to have that evil corporation. And, Nick was definitely like, hey, this thing is going to be this. And I was like, all right, well then let me do it this way. Like, so his idea of Quickwire's powers somehow linking to the metal that is this specific metal.
Yeah.
He wanted that. He just didn't know what it was going to be. And he was like, well, it'll be this. And I was like, let's do something different.
Simplify it.
Well, again, like it's a 20, 30-year-old concept. So in my mind, I was like, yes, you're right. That is something that was cool in the 90s. But what is something we do now? Cell phones and the earbuds, like that's the new technology. So I was like, let's do that. Let's have that be the random.
No, that's dude, that's legit because it's unexpected. It's not been done before. And by damn, it works, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. And
I think we've all got a shock from like unplugging our phone from the charger or going to take our earbud out of our ear and put it into the charger, and it like give us a little pop. You know,
Yeah.
It's wild that something as simple as that
Yeah.
led to Quickwire becoming Quickwire.
No. So yeah, it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you what it was like working with Bruno Tyler and with on Phantom Hawk, and like what did he bring to this story visually? Because it is visually a very dark story.
Yeah, it was. He is an artist who. So Harsh, I knew about, but had never worked with before.
Yeah.
Bruno and I had worked on about 3 or 4 different things before this came about. The company that I still do some freelance work for, but that kind of was the first job that got me back into comics was Grok Comics. That's how I met Ray.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and also, what's his name? Shoot.
Michael Williams, who I think
Evan.
Yeah, Evan, and then there's a couple other guys. So yeah, I met a lot of guys through there, through Grok, and Bruno was an artist because like the thing of it is sometimes you're just looking for new talent. Like Bill Rapp is who runs Grok Comics, and he had about 3 or 4 artists that he was using all the time, and I was like, hey, I want to lose some other guys, definitely, and Bruno had done a cover for him, and I really liked the way that cover looked. And I was like, who is this guy? And he's like, oh, it's this guy. I go, let me reach out and talk to him. So then he did 3 different short stories for Grok. He and I worked on together. And even though like there was some stuff he needed to work on, he was willing to talk to me about it. And we had some conversations. And then we worked on, he was somebody who, a project I'm not going to mention, but it was a personal project. He and I started working on that. And it was during that project that Phantom Hawk kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah.
And Nick was like, I need a new artist. And I was like, I know this guy. I've been working with him.
Out, man.
And it was just one of those things. I think I showed him some of the art from some of the other things and was like, let him sketch Phantom Hawk, or let's see what he does. And the first drawing he did, Nick was like, this is the guy. And
nailed the tryout on the first time.
Yeah. So then he just started doing the book, and it was what was really interesting is he did the first page, which looked really cool, which the first page of this book is like the first page it's always been, which is him looking over the city.
Oh yeah, you got to have a scene where you're brooding over the city.
So then
it's mandatory.
Yeah, it's mandatory. So then he did a couple more pages, and then I've never had this happen before. He was like, hey, now that I've done more of this and I like it a lot, he's like, I'm going to go redo the first page. And he went back and redid the first page. But he is definitely the one. I wish I had some of his pencils that I could show you. Like, there is very little room to color his art. His art is really heavy dark. So it just fits so well with Phantom Hawk.
I mean, when we did the first interview and y'all emailed me over the first, I think, 10 pages of
Phantom
Hawk.
Yeah.
It was really, really dark, but the color that was in it was so fitting with what else was going on.
Yes.
That you really didn't put a lot of thought that it was a dark book, because all the lines were still tremendous. The shading, the color in, everything just flowed in together really nicely. So even if there was, to me, it's one of those books where you don't need the color. Even if the book was just in like black and grayscale, I think it would work.
I'm going to send you this picture. This is giving nothing away. This is a pinup he did as something that's coming up here pretty soon. So you can see, like,
are you going to send it on
a Facebook Messenger? Sorry.
Okay.
So you can see like how dark his stuff is, and like there's very little room for color, which is cool in and of itself. And you could show everybody that picture if you want to. It's just
I'm downloading it. I'm going to try to. Actually, I may have to just share the page. Let me see what I can do here.
Do you want me to send it through the message of this? Can I do that? Can I send pictures
No.
through? Okay.
Give me just a second. I just got to move it to a new. Move the tab to the new window.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't show all your tabs. We don't need to see.
No, my tabs are good. Ain't nothing like that going on over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I accidentally
Do I
did
look
that
like
one
Matthew?
time.
Do I look
There
like
we go.
Matthew?
Yeah.
There
I
we
was
go.
like,
That's it,
but
dude.
yeah, so you can
Look how
see
legit
like,
that is, though. He's
yeah,
not a standard vigilante, though. You know what I'm saying?
correct.
Like he still has the cape, he has the cowl on, but he has the combat boots and he has the Glocks. You know?
He has
So
the
yeah.
guns. He's one of those guys where like if he needs a gun, he's gonna have a gun.
Mhm.
If he needs a knife, he's gonna have a knife. If he needs this, I can
Yeah.
totally see him like there's in the later issues, he's carrying 2 guns.
You know
He's
what?
got
He would fit in
rifles.
really good to the Watchmen.
Kind of, yeah. There's no like hatred for thing. He's a military guy. And a
Yeah.
military guy is going to like, hey, if I need armor today for this mission, I'm going to put armor on. If I need these things, I'm going to carry them with me. So there's even moments farther down the line where he's not even wearing the cape. He's got other things that he's carrying with him. He doesn't want the cape anymore.
Yeah.
So it's definitely kind of an idea of like he uses the equipment he needs for the mission. And if that means no cowl or whatever, he's gonna do that. So yeah, he is not Batman who's only going to be using the batarangs and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So
No, I like him, man. He's super cool. Like I don't care what anybody says. Any dude that rocks a cape, a cowl, and Glocks is okay in my book.
fair.
So let's jump into you, good sir, in the
Okay.
creator mindset and what kind of like some of the shenanigans going on in the industry, kind of. So you're writing both high-speed comedy, a brutal vigilante crime fighter. How do you like mentally switch those gears on and off? I mean, I'm sure you're writing them at different times, but at the same time, you're still having to dual wield both these hats, so to speak.
Yeah. So there's a couple different things. Sometimes it's music, like, hey, let me create a soundtrack for this character so that can kind of set the mood as
Okay.
I'm writing.
Oh, I like that one actually.
And then sometimes like the hardest thing for me sometimes is like, yeah, I really want to write the next issue of Phantom Hawk, but I gotta finish this issue of Quickwire. So
Yeah.
there's 4 issues of each book are already written. They've been written for a while. So that was the hardest part. Is like, no, don't just do half of this. Like I've got to finish this entire issue before I jump back to the other title. That was part of it too. And then sometimes like what I'll do is just read the previous issue, get back in that character's head, and just kind
You'd
of
be surprised. I do that so often.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'll go back to the previous issue. Like last week, Something is Killing the Children, 45, I think, came out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, there was something in there that was like weird to me. So I had to go back to 44.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, there it is. And then went back and finished reading 45. But it was just that one thing that I was like, they just pull this up like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So you jump over, you reread. Yeah. I do that constantly. I always have like, if it's an ongoing series, I have a box like next to my desk of stuff I'm currently reading. But there's like 2 or 3 issues of that book. So when the new one comes out, like the second or third issue that's in there that's old will then be put in another box, and I just keep it running that way. That way I always have that reference there if I do need to go back to something.
Yeah. And that helps a lot. And then sometimes like I do this thing, and I don't know if it's from being a filmmaker or just being weird, is there's times I'll just like act out a scene. Like just kind of, hey, how would these guys talk? What are they saying? What's the vibe? Or even weirder is sometimes I'm like, okay, to kind of get back in this mindset, what would Tyler do? What would Quickwire do if the coffee machine broke?
It's funny when you mentioned acting it out, because you'll see a lot of, here's what I like. There's certain artists that take themselves seriously, but there's some who know they're very lucky in life and they're in a good spot in life to where they can make fun of themselves and have fun about themselves. So like some of my favorite artists that I follow on Instagram are the guys who go, hey, I was having a hard time today visualizing a certain pose. So they literally got down in the pose they're trying to create in front of the mirror, took a selfie in it, and then shared it to everybody. It's like, hey, sometimes even us good guys have writer's block or artist block, and we have to, give ourselves something, and it's literally just a dude in front of the mirror, like doing some weird, out there pose. You're like if you just randomly scrolled and you seen this picture of him, you'd be like,
yeah,
what is he doing? But then you're like, oh, he's working on this one, character, and that's like a pose, and he was just trying to visualize that pose. So it's kind of cool when artists will post that of themselves, like, and I'm like, dude, that's classic. I love that kind of stuff.
Whoa! All right, Ray, come on, calm down, buddy.
Damn.
Thank you very much. You're gonna make.
He's not just blowing smoke up your ass tonight, dude. He brought out the whole pipe to do it.
No, I think one of the funniest pictures I put on Instagram was I was working on this project, this like origin story of this villain, and I had this very specific thing. And what it was is the guy's name is Point Blank. I think the book has been out, the 2-page thing of one of the things. And I was like, what if Hawkeye had Spider-Man's powers? So I had this very specific thing where I wanted him to be standing on the side of a skyscraper and sniping somebody from a distance with this bow and arrow. And the artist just was not understanding what I was trying to tell him.
Yeah.
So I grabbed some of my son's action figures and like taped his feet onto the side of a door jamb, and then put a table in the back and put like a couple action figures over there and took this photo. And it was just one of those times I was like, out of context, this looks weird. But when I said to the artist, he was like, he's like, oh, okay. So the number of times I've taken pictures of action figures like doing fights or doing things like, no, like this or do this. And
hey, but you're putting action figures to use for what they're supposed to be used for.
Yes.
Unlike mine, who just sit in boxes. And
I was gonna say, I may or may not have an entire box here at my feet of various action figures to do stuff with, because sometimes it doesn't make any sense and I have to. But no, but I think that's a lot of times what really does help is just kind of figure out what the tone is, and whatever gets you back into that tone, whether it's reading the previous parts, getting some music, having some fun, or just getting like really intent. I think it really does help to kind of shift into that mindset in order to do Phantom Hawk or Quickwire or the Grok stuff, some of the stuff I've done for them, and just having a fun time with it all.
So if we're listening to music, we're Quickwire. What music is Quickwire listening to?
Quickwire listens to a lot of ska, and for me personally, some ska, some No Doubt, some Brian Setzer. I may throw some Weird Al in there just to kind of have some mixed things. And then like Phantom Hawk, it's like the 300 soundtrack. Or like like as much as I don't like Man of Steel, that soundtrack is phenomenal, and it does give like a gritty mood to it. So I thought it was, if I was more into Crystal Method, maybe techno would be my thing, but no, it's more kind of a ska light on your feet kind of feeling that I have.
See, if it was like Harsh, it would be punk rock, like straight punk rock.
It'd be punk rock all the time. So would it be Romanian punk rock, Harsh? Would that be what it was?
Yeah, Harsh.
Would it be Romanian punk rock?
I think you got some dirt to dish up here. We heard stories about you, buddy.
But it was so yeah, that's usually how I kind of do it. And then, it's been cool to have the art. Yeah. Now that I've looked at some of the stuff, it's like, no, I'm really
Berlin digital art.
There we go.
My dude.
But no, it's so that's what usually has shifted me back and forth, is really kind of getting into that mindset. So it really does help.
I mean, it's one of those where if it works, it works. I know Dark Pink Comics, the creator of it, he wrote music into the comic book. So you can literally listen to the music of the comic book as you read the comic book, because it tells you a little prompt at the top of the page. It's like, hey, this is
Yeah.
Sade and this is this. And it's really cool. It was a very unique thing that he done. And the music is actually like, you see the lyrics on the comic book page because they're in like a club or something.
Yeah.
And then, but you could play it at the same time. And I thought that was just a really, really cool concept. So
there was a series that I almost did for Grok, and unfortunately it ended up not working out, where I was going to have old 90s and 80s music be like their theme music, where they both really liked this one guy, so that I was going to have an issue where they were singing the songs and the music would play while they were doing this assault of this compound. And that was one of those, like, this would, if we could pull this off, this would be great. So yeah, I feel that. I think sometimes music, like Alan Moore did that in Top 10.
He
created his own songs, but like it really worked for that comic.
There's I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but he did a Kickstarter called the Cryos, and he created a punk rock band.
Oh wow!
For that, and it's got time travel in there. It's a phenomenal book.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that one was really cool too, because he literally made a punk rock band, and it like included time travel and just a really, really cool concept. There was like a guy similar to Matt's Headroom that was like kind of like in there and everything. It was really cool. It's like a perfect throwback to like the 80s, punk rock scene.
Nice.
But if you were to give advice to
Okay.
any guys trying to break into comic books right now, whether it be artists or writers, colorists, what kind of advice would you give them as they're trying to break into the business right now?
I mean, I like how you think I've broken into the business, but we'll go with that.
And what I mean, is like the creator-owned comics, the self-publishing guys, because it's not an easy thing to do. I mean, it's I'm sure, like even this sometimes where I'm like, all right, nobody's wanting to come on this month. Now I have to be actually creative and come up with ideas of stuff I need to do and want to do.
I think like, so it's kind of hard to say, because I can sometimes be a jaded old man, but what I'll say is this, is like, you have to love it. Like that's got to be the love has to be the thing, and I think sometimes you're the only person that cares about the project, and you have to be willing to push forward for that project. But I think you also just have to be one, like we said before, a critique is not an argument. Take what somebody is saying and try and go like, okay, where can I pull growth out of this thing? But some of it too is like, just keep doing the work. Like, do your work and put it out there. No matter what it is, somebody's going to find you. Look, Bruno Tyler, who does Phantom Hawk, he did a single cover for Grok, and that cover caught my attention. Harshstroke, he had submitted some stuff. We had come across him, and he was for Grok, and he was one of these guys like, okay, well, if we ever go that route, and like when Quickwire came about, I had to tell Nick, like, there's this guy who's been on the cusp. Like he's somebody who we're probably going to go to. Maybe we'll go, you should go for it and talk to him. And sometimes you just kind of have to give it a shot and see what happens. And look, I've been burned. I've done 2 issues of a series that after the second issue was done, I realized like, this guy's not the guy. I loved working with him. He was a cool guy, but it just got to the point where I was like, he's not the artist for this thing. And I felt really bad. Did it to me.
I can tell you right now, dude, you're doing it, dude.
Yeah.
And if it won't be long now, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
All I did was open the door. You jumped through it and did your thing. I didn't do anything. Like, had you not been the way you are, you wouldn't be here. So It's you, buddy. You did it.
Dude,
But no,
at the end
I
of the
think,
day, he's responsible for me knowing you and Nick and Apogee Comics.
yeah. And I think too, is that sometimes just keep going. And then also be to that point, like, hey, I did this for a year. Maybe I need to chill and reassess and redo.
Yeah.
Like I, I did my own I attempted to do my own comic. I hired an artist. We worked on it for like 6 months to a year. It didn't go anywhere. And I was like, all right, I'm done. And I stepped away.
Yeah.
And for 5 years, I didn't do anything comic books at all. And then it was like, I submitted that thing for Grok. And then it was like, a thing just started happening. You know, I did a bunch of stuff for them. Apogee came. There was another guy did stuff. Like I started just getting stuff. And it was like, okay, like sometimes your time will come and you don't know. You could be in your 20s. You could be in your 30s, 40s, 50s. You just don't know. And I think sometimes give yourself that chance to take a break, but keep at your craft. You know,
What's going on,
hey,
Lloyd?
what's
How
up,
you
Lloyd?
doing?
How you doing, brother? You need to get
Trying to
that
get
man
Lloyd
on
to come
here.
on the show. I literally, like, he posted on Facebook today. I was like, hey, dude, why don't you let USDN help you out, man? We can make it happen. It's literally an email away.
And it's probably
We will set it up. The book looks cool.
The coolest and most talented painters out there. You want some good paintings and some good colors? Lloyd's your guy. We keep trying to like play with like, hey man, come on.
Yeah. So
there you
hey,
go.
that post I posted on, they said, hey, hit me up, click my link, and go to my email, shoot me an email, and we'll make it happen, dude. Because this whole thing today. So Ben Lacey, who does Shark of War, Harsh did his art for Shark of War.
Yes.
I was like, I posted, and then Harsh watched the episode. It was like, dude, I'm that artist. Because I was you know, it's about sharks, and he gave a shark emotions. Like you could see what it felt. And I was like, dude, I got to get you on the show, man. And that led to this thing. And with, you know, I had you, Nick, on, and Harsh all on, and that led to this one. So it's really cool. It's a small world, but a big one.
Yes.
It's like, what is it? The 6 or 7 degrees of separation by Kevin Bacon or whatever.
4 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Let's do it, Lloyd. I'm here, man. It's
a
wide open month too.
Here we go.
So I like it. This is how it happens, dude. And I know we were talking before, Matt. We were just like, hey, let's talk comic books and just shoot the shit and have a good time. And that's what we've been doing all night. We're literally working while working and making stuff happen.
There we go.
I like it. But so I gotta say, the future is bright for Apogee.
I think so.
What has you the most excited right now for the team over there? Because y'all have a very impressive team. And I know a lot of the team has moved on to Marvel and DC and other places, but what's really got you excited right now for Apogee?
I'm really excited for kind of this new direction. You know, we've gotten the chance. You know, I was able to come in, do some writing. Got, you know, through that we've gotten a lot of new artistic talent coming in. I think, like every company has their first phase, and then you get the next phase, and hopefully the talent gets bigger and you get to do stuff. So I think that's what's really been happening with Apogee, is that you just the artistic talent has stepped up, and we've got a major jump. I cannot wait for Bengali #4 to come out. The artist that is working on Bengali 4, just phenomenal work. It's stuff like that I get excited about, because you know,
I can tell
Apogee's been
everybody can tell right now.
Apogee's been around for years. And you know, like with life happens, things happen, drama happens, other things happen, and I think that luckily all of these things kind of fell into place at a good time. You know, I can't say like I did this and blah blah blah. Look, Nick reached out to me and asked me to come in, and then things just started happening. And it's been a lot of fun kind of seeing all this stuff coming together. And I, not only did, Harshstroke come on board and do the stuff with Quickwire, we got Bruno doing this. Nick found David, who's doing awesome on Bengali. Renee has really been having a lot of fun kind of working together on the writing stuff. And then, I was able to bring on Ray. Ray was right. He mentioned before, there is a project he and I are working on. We got 2 issues in.
Oh, there we go. You're answering my question. Go.
Yeah. And that is the procedural that I was talking about.
Okay. So is it like a Sam and Twitch of the Spawn world?
No, it's more like
a Law and Order SVU.
I'm trying to think about how much I can truly say.
If you say police procedural, we'll leave it at that. No more questions will be asked.
It's more like a super powered MP procedural.
Ooh, you dirty boy! You shut your mouth.
We're coming, man. We're coming. So that's where it's like really.
I don't think you need to say it like in that fashion.
I know I got a little weird. Sorry.
Yeah. Come on, man. It's PG-13 over here, bro.
But I'm excited. So I think that's where you really kind of get, again, like everything is different. There's a different genre, different thing. There's a concept. It's called Corvid and Sparrow. They've been working on it for a long time. And now I've kind of come in and been like,
mentioned that when y'all were on last time, I believe. So
we've
but it's coming together.
It's coming together. And I think what it was is that's one of those things where it's been in development for so long. And the first thing I kind of said, like, this is a cool concept, but let's bring it. Let's go up. Right now it's almost like you're just doing another Phantom Hawk thing. That's the one that I said, hey, let's go cyberpunk. Let's add the tech. Let's give them something different.
I think that's so cool.
So
like that's cyberpunk and like here. So I complained about, I don't know, 6 months ago about there need to be more Westerns in comic books. I love a good Western, just like I love a good comic, but combine the two together and phenomenal things can happen, right?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I'm not shitting you, there was like 5 Westerns out at the same time. Yeah. Not mad about it. I read all 5. So cyberpunk, I love cyberpunk. I love the concept of cyberpunk. John, who does In Our Dreams Awake, half of his comic book is cyberpunk and half of it is like medieval times, which is really cool, really dope concept. However, I'm not really a fan of the cyberpunk 2077-ish type of comics. I love the video game. I love the anime. It just doesn't work for me in comic book. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, I love a good cyberpunk, but I also love a good steampunk comic book. But we don't really get a lot of those. You don't get a lot of that stuff anymore. I feel like steampunk has kind of fallen out of the way, which is a sad thing for me. But now that I said that out loud, comic book guys, come on. Where are you at?
Let's just do it. No, but it has been. I think Apogee is we're gonna have a lot of fun. Nick has been really cool about, hey, throw me your ideas. Now he has said no a lot because there are some times where I'm like, hey, blah 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 blah, and I'll just like say all this stuff, and he's like, no, that's not gonna happen. Like, are you sure? And he's like, no, like, because I really.
Did you contact him in the morning or in the afternoon? Because there's a difference between the Nicks.
Yeah. Either way.
Nick in the morning is a good Nick. Nick in the evening, we don't know which Nick we getting.
Sometimes, but no, I think that's where, sometimes even there's just sometimes you're like, okay, no, or oftentimes, like, here's a big example. Phantom Hawk, there are these 2 cop characters, and I didn't want them in the series. I was like, dude, this makes no sense. They don't need to be here. And he's like, bro, they're part of the story. And I'm like, well, what if I just did this? And he's like, no, they're this thing. And he kind of gave me some information about it. And I was like, all right, I'll keep them. And then by the second issue, I was loving writing them because I was able to kind of expand on it and have some fun with them. And I think that's where sometimes like Nick has what he wants this world to be, and he lets me play in this toy box.
It's very in depth and it's very thorough. It's very thought out, and I love it because it's also one of those where it can be expanded upon however you want, and because it's still the kind of world it is, it can change, it can fluctuate, stuff can happen that can't happen in like the Marvel and DC world. And I think it's the dopest thing ever that, like, because I mean he gave us the big umbrella of what the plan was, and I was just like, I'm sitting here listening to him and I'm like, dude, I can only take so much before my head explodes because it was a lot. And I'm just like, oh my God,
we've got a lot already.
It is amazing though. I'm not complaining about any of it because I'm just like, dude, if you can make all this happen, that's gonna be fucking amazing.
Yeah. But we need you to buy our books.
Yeah.
So
Apogee.com.
Quickwire is digital and physical copies are out there. Phantom Hawk is on the way. We're trying to just make sure that some of the we crowdfunded.
That's going to be part 4 of Phantom Hawk, right?
Issue
4.
Well, no, it's the 4-part. Bengali number 4 is the one that's.
Oh, Bengali's number 4. Okay.
But there was a crowdfunding for Phantom Hawk, so we have to get all that taken care of before we.
Did y'all kickstart or go Indiegogo?
We used Fund My Comic.
Okay, that's something new. Yeah, tell us about that because that's a new one for me because I've not heard of that one either.
So I don't know a lot about it. I'll tell you what I know. Fund My Comic is specifically only for comic books. Kickstarter and Indiegogo, you can do whatever.
Everything, tech, you name it.
So Fund My Comic is strictly comic book thing. It's a newer thing. So the unfortunate part of it is that it's not as big as the other guys. So you don't have as many of like the randoms that come and just, hey, we want to do this. Like there was one of the campaigns we did that I helped on for Grok for Black Cobra #1. And I remember just going like, dude, put this tier like this and some random person's going to come by and drop money because they're just looking for places to go. But sometimes, like, especially if you're trying to look for a tax write-off, you don't want to do a $10 thing. So I was like, dude, make $1,000 tier and say, this is what we'll do. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like,
there's always one, dude.
Well, it doesn't cost you any money to put that tier on there. No, but it doesn't, you don't get dinged a fee if nobody does a tier.
Exactly.
Put it out there, see what happens. And we had 3 people go for that tier.
Because it was right off at the end of the year.
Yeah, random people doing it. And I think that's where
you'd be surprised about the number of people who want to see themselves or their animals drawn into a comic book.
Well, or the number of people who just are willing to just drop something to see what happens. But I think that unfortunately with Fund My Comic, because it's so new, you don't have as many passerbyers. It's not as out there. It's building, and I think it, give it a couple more years, maybe it'll be, but it's also it's Apogee. Like, it's me. Like, nobody has any idea who I am. If Chuck Dixon does a campaign on Fund My Comic, it's going to do gangbusters because he's Chuck Dixon.
Yeah,
everybody
it's like
knows
when Mark Spears dropped Monsters onto Kickstarter to fund it before it got picked up by an actual retailer.
Yeah, it
was like one of the fastest funded, crowdfunders ever.
Yeah. So I think that's where it's a different. So it had a lot of cool things. But I think that was not in a bad way. It's just new. Like, as it's building its audience and its space in the world, I think it'll become better and better. But it's also the first campaign Apogee had done in years. So we're thinking of doing another one. What personally I don't like is crowdfunding every single thing.
Yeah, we talked about that last time y'all were on, and the reason why you feel like that's just not a sustainable way to go.
So So I think we may do something early first quarter next year, but
Yeah.
it's not going to be like a specific for this thing per se.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I'm excited for what's to come. It's as a writer, being able to write full, complete story arcs has been a blast.
I imagine that's been awesome to,
Yeah.
and just to sit down and just hammer them out,
Yeah, because it's like,
But I know when I do post this, though, I'll have Apogee's website. I'll have your
Yes.
stuff in there.
perfect.
Harsh and whoever, I'll have all that like linked in down in the description to the comic books and everything. So I always try to do it upright when I go to redrop all this stuff. So
I appreciate it, brother.
But what have you been reading? I know
What
you
about-
stay busy. You have a family. You have young kids. You have older kids. You got a 9 to 5 like I do. But what have you been reading from a comic book perspective?
I've been really enjoying Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman.
So I was doing Absolute Flash, and
Yeah.
it kind of wore on me. I'm kind of done with it, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on. I think they just released the issue 1 of the trade paperbacks.
Yes.
I think I'm going to pick them up that way and read them. It was just overbearing. Like it was too much at once. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I did not get into it, but I did pick up the Batman Hush, the new Batman Hush,
Okay.
and the new a Detective Batman. I think is the other one I picked up that because it just restarted itself.
Yeah. The new Batman by Matt Fraction and Dan Mora. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the one.
That.
Yeah. And then I also did the Batman Gotham by Gaslight as well, that series, because it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, right now it's Justice League by Gaslight or whatever they're calling it. But that one's been really good as well.
Yeah.
Any Kickstarters?
I'm sorry?
Have you backed any Kickstarters lately or?
Not lately. I'm trying to think when we went to the con, there was one that I read. It was called Seals.
Okay.
And it's almost like he said it this way. It's like Teenage Ninja Turtles, but if they were SEALs that were Navy SEALs.
Dude, that's awesome.
It was so cool. It was just one of those like you've hit all the buttons, bro.
So I just did a unboxing on Saturday. My What's in the Box series, which I love because I named it after the Brad Pitt movie 7. At the very end, where he's like, "What's in the box, man?
What's in the box?"
So yeah, that's what I named the series after, and it's just
nice.
I've always loved that movie 7. It's one of my favorites, and the fact that the head in the box is what's her name, Gwyneth Paltrow, and the head has been reused, like it's been lost, found, reused in movies, lost again, only to be found again, and then reused in more movies. So her head is just floating out there, being reused in random movies, which I think is the coolest thing ever for a prop, But I recently just I say recently, January 2025, I backed a little book called, let me make sure this is a PG-13 cover.
Yeah, get the cover. That's cool.
Okay, so Devil Girl, Thomas J. Campbell. I unboxed it on Saturday.
Okay.
Dude, really, really dope cover.
Oh, okay.
I can't give a lot of details on the book because it will get me
in trouble.
Not from a storytelling perspective, but the details of the story aren't exactly something you can say
yes.
without getting,
yeah,
punched by the censors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but it's a phenomenal book. I love the concept of the book, and I'm looking forward to the next issue of that. So Thomas J. Campbell, if you're out there, if you're listening, gonna need you to work on book 2 for me, dude.
Here, this is something I haven't read this issue yet. It's called Legend of the Cove.
Nova Cove.
Yeah. So this is a really cool book. I read the first 2 issues, loved it. It's by, let me see if I can find his name, Joshua Shelton.
Okay.
And it's interesting. I don't know how much I should say, but I've really enjoyed it. Gabriel Dill is a guy who I did some work for, and his Aspire Comics is actually publishing this. And when he
nice.
talked about it, I was like, I'm gonna go buy those. And it was a good read. So if you guys want to do something random, that was good.
I just had John Linus on, who does Lord of the Cosmos.
Okay.
Phenomenal series as well. He just ran an Indiegogo, which was my first time having somebody on who's run an Indiegogo. And I thought that was a really cool experience to have him on talking about Indiegogo, because I've done, like, at this point, like 15 or 16 different Kickstarter interviews. And
yeah,
I think at this point I may know a little bit about Kickstarters and running a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
which I love to bring that experience when I talk to people. You know, and shout out to my friend Bruno Catarino. He's the very first guy who come on the podcast and I got to interview. Nice. And he keeps a running tab of lessons learned from Kickstarters.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And it's really cool. He's on like issue 2 of it, basically. And whenever I have somebody on who's doing their first Kickstarter, I'm like, hey, I got some really cool stuff for you. I'm going to send over to you. And I send over his 2 links to his lessons learned, because they're really good lessons learned volumes that I like to share with people when they're running that. So shout out to Bruno, who's probably going to be back on in January for his new book. And he's a great dude, really good dude. So, but what else you had going on, man? I know you got this super secret project you're not really letting us get in on yet, but we're going to have to talk about that.
If it ever sees the light of day.
We're going to have to come back, and we're going to have to talk about that one.
If it ever sees the light.
And Ray's going to have to, like, just come on. I know we got Lloyd set up. I think Lloyd actually messaged me.
There we go. Yeah.
So
Lloyd's a cool guy. I've been on his stuff before. Ray's cool. You got to have him on. So I will say the littlest part I could do. I won't give you any story details, but this is a character it's almost like my Phantom Hawk. I created this character when I was in high school, and I have rebooted him over time, rewritten issues left and right. And I almost kind of went back to it a couple of years ago, and then was like, no, let me wait. The big thing personally I've been waiting for is,
I gotta show this. Okay,
let me see.
I just got your message. Hang on.
Okay.
Dude, that cover is so damn clean. Let me hop over here real quick.
Isn't that the coolest?
Yeah, I mean, when you said it, I was like, dude, that's gotta be so cool. And then I didn't realize you actually sent it to me. I just checked the message, and I was like, dude, that is so fucking cool. Let me
you need to reach out to that guy. His links are on that thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, dude. Let me move it to a new window. Slide it over. Come back to the studio. Yeah, dude. I didn't realize that was. Yeah, I gotta share that.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hang on, let me turn off this light.
Yeah,
I already captured it.
We don't need to see my so you have Screwhead on there.
That's awesome.
Zoom
dude.
in, bro. Zoom in.
I don't know if they'll let me. Yeah, it's not gonna let me. But that is freaking awesome. Look at that though. It's like what was that other one with the frogs?
I know what you're talking
about. The video game, Battletoads or whatever.
Battletoads, yes. Okay.
Dude, that is freaking sweet though.
Yeah, that's cool. But no, so it's basically a character that I've rebooted over time, several times, and kind of. Okay, I think I have it. If not, I'll have to I'll let you know. I got to scroll back for that. But no, it's a So it was kind of originally like more of like a vigilante character that I created.
Yeah.
When I was like 15 or 16 years old. I've updated it so many different times, changed it so many different times. And every so often I'm like, maybe I should actually do it. And
yeah,
it was kind of laughing because Ray is always like, dude, you should do it, because he's known about it. And just randomly one day, Bruno had done a pinup of it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get somebody to color it. So Michael Woods, who colored Quickwire and Phantom Hawk, I said, "Hey, will you do this?" And he colored it, did a really cool job.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, maybe one of these days." But I said, "But the biggest problem I had is that the the digital copy of the scripts is gone. The system I had, it crashed. I never was able to recover it.
Yeah.
So I had no copies of the script, but I remembered that I had printed them once and given them to a friend of mine. And he had said, "Oh, I gave them back to you." I could never find them. Randomly the other day, I was cleaning out my closet, opened this box, found this folder. I was like, "Oh my gosh, here are the scripts." So I reread
Yeah. That's
scripts that I
dope,
had
dude,
written.
that you found them.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, scanned them into my computer. And I'm like, as I'm reading it, going like, it's outdated. It needs to be fixed. But
Yeah.
man, okay, maybe. Ultimately, for me personally, it's like until I make a name for myself, it'd be very difficult to do anything with it because it's like,
dude, if you want to Kickstarter it, man, I'll fucking manage the shit out of that.
Again, I think once Phantom Hawk and Quickwire kind of hit the ground running, we've got some more sales. And it's not to be like I'm using this to make myself famous, but I think that's the thing is like without a following, a Kickstarter is not going to do anything. So I think that's where I think we'll see.
You got to make your name somewhere.
Yeah,
and
then
Apogee is a fucking phenomenal source to be doing it right now. I'm not even bullshitting.
No, it's
so
been
speaking
a lot
of finding stuff, we found this little girl right here.
I was gonna say, kitty.
She's my spoiled, pampered princess. She's like, dude, it's time for my facial massage. Because she'll come up, she'll sit on my chest.
Okay.
Give her a nice little ear massage and get her massage her face, and she's just like, I'm like, she's spoiled, dude. She's coming right back. So,
yep. Or she just went across. Who knows?
No, she'll be back. She's sitting on the edge of the desk. See?
Nice. I see it.
And she's gonna walk in front now. Come on, baby. What are you doing, dude? I swear, man.
Yeah. Pets. Ugh.
She's a good girl, dude. Although if you're eating, she wants to eat too. She will. Yeah. She's the first one that will shove her face into your plate.
Gotcha. But yeah, right now I'm concentrating more on getting Phantom Hawk and Quickwire off the ground. Like it would be really nice to get to that point where we are selling books and the sales of the books paying for the next thing. So buy our books.
Yes, dude, I'm telling you, when this goes live and when I do the redrop on Instagram or on YouTube, it'll have all the links and stuff in the description. And then when I go to redo all the social media posts to say, hey, this is live again on Facebook, or not Facebook, but YouTube and StreamYard, not StreamYard, nice. Shit. Podcasting platforms, holy hell. Even on the podcasting platforms in the description, we'll have all the links to everything, to your social media, Apogee social media, the books, you name it.
Perfect.
Shit. There we go. Somebody picking them one up ASAP. I know I'm about to do the same.
There we go.
Like it's literally on. Like I make a list, and it's just like a running tab, like of stuff.
Hey, Uncle Byron, how you doing?
Oh, you're paying him for. See what's going on here. You're paying him.
Hey, no, it's my uncle, man. He's always supportive. I love it.
You're like, hey, I'll put you an extra steak on the grill when you come over this weekend. Yeah, I see what you're doing. He's a plant. I ain't even mad. That's what we're here for. He gave you a thumbs up for the steak part, so you better make sure the man has a big old steak.
Yeah, and I'll overdo it for you, just like you asked me to last time.
Oh, criminal. But yeah, that's definitely. I know Nick sent me a lot to pre-read, and I've read all of those, dude. And like, I think that was some of the old Phantom Hawk, and some of the older stuff. And dude, this shit's so good. It was perfect for when that time frame, but now that everything's kind of being rebooted, I'm like, yeah, I got to get in on that.
Yeah,
he really is. I've gotten to read.
Sir. Thank you.
I've gotten to read some of his work, and you're up there, dude. I'm telling you. But yeah, I definitely got to order the books. Everybody else, go over to apogee.com. Purchase yourself some digital copies of the books, or If you're like me, you prefer physical copies. I think the physical copies are $4.99.
Yeah, it's $5. I think
Which
it's
is
$5.
Here lately that's below industry because you're not going to find anything. Even Image Comics has gone up.
Yeah,
like Spawn is no longer $2.99. It's $3.99 now. They had to go up.
And there's some of those guys at that con. They were selling theirs $10 a piece. Like I get it in a way, but
and I get that because I mean, especially if it was an indie book, a creator-owned book, that $10 is going to create more copies of that book for the next con. And I 100% get that. But it better be on cardstock. It better be full color.
And it better be good.
And it better be really damn good for $10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but Matt, tell everybody where they can find you, dude.
All right, no problem. You can follow me across all social media at the Jasso Man. That's YouTube, Twitter, Threads, Instagram. And then you can find me every week on Spotify, on DC Junction. We have a website as well. You can find us on all social medias and that as well.
You can also find him on his OF account under the same name.
Yeah. All right, anyway.
Oh, that's what I like, dude. So we can just sit here and go, man. All right. So whether it's Lightning Fuel comedy or Shadow Drenched Revenge, Matthew Jasso is proving that indie comics don't live in one lane. They dominate the whole highway. This has been Quickwire. This has been Phantom Hawk. And this has been the United States Department of Nerds, and the Council of Nerds is adjourned. I will see everybody tomorrow live from Comics Asylum and the team over there as we discuss some of the best of 2025. So until tomorrow, y'all be safe, and we'll see y'all then. We are out of here.
Bye-bye.
It's a trap!